Welcome to our second episode of Meet the Founder interviews. With us today is Brian, fourth generation from People's Choice Jerky. We're really excited to be chatting with you today, Brian.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I'm Georgina. I lead influencer PR and social here at Baze. So really excited to get down to some of these questions. So Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and the story behind People's Choice beef jerky?
Absolutely. So the best place to start with our story is probably at the beginning. And for us, that takes us back to 1929 when my great-grandfather started the company People's Choice Beef Jerky in downtown Los Angeles. The business has been passed down from generation to generation. And today we are one of the foremost manufacturers of artisan quality beef jerky. We make a variety of styles, a variety of flavors, but we really focus on high quality ingredients and a simple handmade process, which ends up creating a very traditional and real authentic beef jerky.
Excellent. So what do you feel is your largest differentiator in the beef jerky and health and snack industry?
It's a really good question. There's an incredible amount of competition within the jerky space. There's a lot of new entrants into the market. There's a lot of companies like us who have been around for a long time. But for us, what makes us different really connects back to our heritage and our tradition and the fact that we're a family business. We have a high level of attention to detail, and we like to focus on the things that we feel are important when it comes to making a high quality beef jerky. And that relates back to those high quality ingredients, simple handmade process. And the end result tends to be what we like to think of as a better quality, better for you beef jerky.
Excellent. And obviously our team agrees. So we're interested, obviously, on the marketing side, how you've attracted users and really grown your company from the very start, you know, or I guess the start of, how your grandfather started things and then now how you've adapted and to continue that growth.
Yeah, no, it's another really great question. So we, in a lot of ways, have been lucky because a lot of our success has come from the fact that we have a really great product and that we have complete control over it. And what I mean by that is at every stage in the family business, family generation, each generation has impacted the business differently. But throughout all those generations and all that time, that the way that we do things has remained the same. And so that high quality product has really driven a lot of word of mouth growth. We have a very loyal and active customer base that is happy to talk about us. So a lot of our growth has really come organically through word of mouth. So our job as marketers today with our business is really allowing our customers to tell that story for us and having them part of that process. I think it connects back to our attention to detail, connects back to the product that we make, and it also connects back to the relationship that we have with our customers. And so for us, as far as acquiring new customers, it really connects back to the existing relationship with our current customers and using them as a vehicle for growth.
I love that. That's very powerful.
Yeah.
So, you speak a lot about your customers and really the long history you've had and the loyalty that they've shown. Interested in how you feel the company is driving true impact for them.
Yeah. Again, like to connect back to the same theme, I think we keep a really close eye on our customers and we listen to what they want. And we ourselves are consumers as well. And we're consumers of our own products. So, we make a product that we want to eat every day and a product that we think our customers want to eat. And that all connects back to living a healthy lifestyle, focusing on real ingredients, really simple processing and focusing on real whole foods. And so we take that approach to our manufacturing, to our product development, and to the products that we offer to our customers. One thing that's unique about our company is we have a test kitchen program. So we're always testing out new recipes, new flavors, and we encourage our customers to participate in that process. We ask them to give us feedback, things that they like, things that they don't like. And that not only makes them feel part of the process, but it also creates a pipeline for new business. So when we have these new products available, we have a customer base to sell to. So, for us, it's a matter of listening to our customers, figuring out what they really want, and then finding ways that we can uniquely deliver on that. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's always great. I do feel like there's a wealth of information if we just keep our ears open. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So within the small business and kind of startup scene, what do you feel some businesses may be getting wrong about marketing in general, as you've taken a kind of a more organic approach?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. There's so many. One of the interesting things about marketing for small businesses and startups in today's environment is there are so many tools available, and there's so many channels, so many tactics available, and they feel like they're constantly changing with new ones coming in and old ones going out. And so I feel like at times it can be overwhelming for a startup or a new business because there's, trying all these new things. And for us, the way that we approach it again is understanding our brand, understanding our company and what our unique differentiator is. And then also understanding our customer and finding the best way to deliver that brand and that message and that product to those customers. So, I think it really comes down to listening to your customers again and trying to figure out how they want to hear from you, how they want to interact with you. And that could be different for every company and every brand. And to a certain extent, you have to test and you have to find what works. But when you do find those channels and those connections, it's important to really use those to their fullest capability.
That's excellent advice. I think far too often there's a new shiny tool on coming out that we're always tempted to try and see how it's going to, provide us some kind of benefit, when one of the most important things is really the most basic.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So as far as trends within the nutrition wellness industry, what trends have you seen within the last 5 years that perhaps you've adapted or maybe not?
Yeah, so we've definitely been able to take advantage of a lot of the health and diet trends that have been going on over the past 5-6 years. And I think for us being in the protein space, it really connects back to early Atkins and low carb, and then paleo, and those are all sort of iterations of the same high protein, low carb approach. And we have a few sugar-free varieties which do really well in these audiences and with these demographics. And the irony is we've always had these products since our founding in 1929. We've always made a style of jerky that doesn't use a lot of sugar, and in fact has no sugar in it. So we saw a lot of adoption by a lot of these people in the very beginning, and a lot of that growth happened organically. And then when keto came onto the scene, where it was very challenging for people that did keto to find sugar-free options, we did incredibly well. And so we've definitely been able to ride that wave, slightly reposition our product from a old-fashioned style sugar-free jerky to a really great keto snack. And so we've had a lot of success with that. And I think we'll see that trend continue. I think keto is on the rise, if not has already arrived. And but then also as an evolution of that is eating whole foods. I think whole, simply processed, simple ingredient foods are going to be what people are trying to focus on. And so I think for us, one of the challenges will be, jerky has this perception of being, this unhealthy, preservative-filled gas station snack, which it has been for a while. But there's a lot of companies out there, we being one of them, that make a traditional style jerky that doesn't use any of those preservatives, doesn't use any of those artificial ingredients, uses simple ingredients, uses a handmade process. And so I think for us, looking at this whole food movement, real food movement, will be definitely something to focus on.
Awesome. Yeah, that's wonderful. it is incredible that you guys were kind of doing something that's just become incredibly popular. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I'd like to take credit for it, but it was a bit of luck involved as well.
Wonderful. Um, so in, speaking about some of the successes that your company has had, we'd love to hear about what you feel is your secret sauce to make you, that has made you a leader in the health food industry.
Yeah, it's a great question. It always goes back to our history for us. It goes back to that tradition. We have this foundation of like my great grandfather, my grandfather, and my dad, who is still very involved in the business, have laid for the fourth generation. My sisters as long as me, and so we have these basic tenets and this philosophy of how we approach the product that we make. And that will always be the same. Those won't ever change. But what does change are, the nuances within the ingredients and the recipes and the health benefits that people are looking for, because that, is always changing. And so for us, it's a matter of understanding who we are, what we do best, and then just adapting it for a modern audience and for a modern shopping experience. So our products might look a little bit different, our ingredient label might look a little bit different, our packaging will definitely look different, or the way that we connect with consumers will change. But it's finding that balance between knowing who we are as a company and what we bring to the market, with how to uniquely take that and then serve it to customers, because that's always changing. So it's that balance between, staying true to who we are, but also staying relevant in today's world.
Excellent. Yeah, vital, especially when you have such a loyal existing customer base. So that balance is so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in the news recently, but it's been kind of a building trend as well, is the food as medicine movement, which we as Baze have talked about in depth. What resources or kind of podcasts, magazines do you read pretty consistently to kind of stay on top of nutrition news?
Yeah, it's a good question. To answer it truthfully, I don't really read any specific ones. What I would say though is, like, speaking from my own personal experience with my family, for example, eating healthy and food is such an integral part of our life. So it's part of the everyday conversation about, first of all, we're foodies and we love to cook and we love trying new restaurants. And so there's that piece of it, which is really important. But, I think I would attribute this to my mom, but she's the one that's always influenced us to eat healthy and live healthy, and the importance of food as medicine. And so, I think we all have our different sources of stuff that we read, but as a family and really as a business, health and food is always part of that conversation. And so I would say, sort of a cop-out answer, the conversations that we have as a family, I think, are really my source of new information and new trends to look out for.
That's wonderful. No better place to get that information than from home. So.
Yeah.
You talked a lot about, new flavors and, constant testing and really listening to what people want.
Mm-hmm.
We're interested in, to hear what your favorite jerky flavor is.
Oh, it's a great question. So, well, I like them all to start with, but I'm a traditionalist when it comes to jerky. So our old-fashioned original, which is the same recipe that dates back to the 1920s. It's dry, it's chewy, but it's got that saltiness to it, and it allows the meat flavor to really come through. So I would say for me, that's my favorite. I really do like all of them, but if there's one that I keep going back to, it's definitely our old-fashioned style original.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Baze found we're all about all kinds of whole, healthy foods that provide micronutrients to help people correct those imbalances and deficiencies. And obviously, we feature People's Choice on our food guide early on, as we saw multiple benefits in it. Um, Interested in how you feel Baze aligns with your vision and mission, or your company and families.
Yeah, absolutely. So when Baze approached us with this partnership and part of it having conversations about this, we were really happy to see how closely we are aligned. I think the concept of food as medicine is very powerful, and it's something that we'll see grow in power and awareness. And so those efforts that Baze is taking, I think, are fantastic. And to a certain extent, we take that same approach. We think eating healthy, simple foods has a direct relationship with being healthy. And so finding a company like you who's so focused on that, it definitely mirrors what we're doing and the approach that we take, because like I mentioned before, we're also consumers of our product and we eat quite a bit of it. And so it's important to us that we like our product, and also that it will help us live that healthy lifestyle that we're looking for. So in many ways, I think the philosophy that Baze has and sort of the business model is definitely correlated with the approach that we take with our recipe development and product development and the products that we have.
Glad to hear it. One last question, and then
Sure.
I'll let you go. As far as healthy eating and subscribing to the food as medicine kind of movement,
Sure.
do you have a essential healing food or ingredient
Yeah.
beyond jerky that you incorporate
Right.
on a
Yeah.
consistent?
Well, maybe it goes hand in hand with jerky. And I know this might seem kind of like a silly answer, but I think water for me. My family and my coworkers make fun of me all day because I drink so much water, but I find I feel better when I drink a lot of water, when I'm well hydrated, and so. Yeah, I think for honestly for me, drinking water, it's definitely my healthy go-to thing that I do all day, every day.
I'd have to agree. This is why
Yeah,
I
I got
get
mine
her.
right here.
Yeah, it tells me at a certain time how much I should drink. So
Exactly.
I am with you,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well,
So
Brian, this was so wonderful chatting with you. We appreciate your time a great deal. So thank you.
thank you. We appreciate the opportunity and love talking with like-minded people.
Oh, wonderful. Well, everybody, keep an eye out. There's more to come with People's Choice. And stay tuned for our next episode.
Great, thanks.